offenses for which the punishment is correct exile from the community, comes after the person feels genuine remorse, affects real behavioral change, observes Yom Kippur, and is horrified by the mere idea of karet. Indeed. Bringing light into the darkness, even in the strongest in-betweener. Evil is never totally vanquished, yet there are times, especially during the Shema and the Amidah, when you are completely surrendered to God, your intellect awash in sublime ecstasy and emptied in deep contemplation of the infinite spaciousness of the endless one. At such moments, evil is overcome and nullified. When the ecstasy passes, the selfish passions return. Yet everyone is born with the capacity to turn these passions Godward. As it is written, then I saw that wisdom surpasses folly as light surpasses darkness, as light effortlessly defeats darkness and yet cannot erase it, so the in-betweener defeats evil, yet negative thoughts continue to arise. Do not dwell upon such thoughts, but thrust them aside with both hands. Bringing the light. Do not dwell upon such thoughts, but thrust them aside with both hands, countering the selfish with the selfless, refraining from anger, and offering kindness even to those who offend you. An in-betweener is not sometimes good and sometimes evil, but rather forever engaged in bringing selfish passions under the influence of selfless service. While this sounds like a life of inner struggle, the way itself is in fact effortless. Just as a burning candle doesn't struggle against the darkness, but effortlessly keeps it at bay, so you are not to fight your selfish nature, only to kindle the flame of kindness, refraining from anger and offering kindness to everyone, or how you live the way of the in-betweener. The Benoni in-betweener always struggles with both sides of the heart, the inclination for good and the inclination for evil. When contemplating the Shema, hear Shema, O Israel, the infinite is God, the infinite is one. Do not dwell upon such thought. You surrender to the oneness of God, erasing all sense of separate self. The Amidah standing prayer is the central prayer of Jewish worship. During the Amidah, you stand in the presence of God and are annulled in that presence, the way a wave is annulled in the ocean. Ein Sof in Zohar, we are taught that while passions arise of their own accord, outside your control, you can choose how to respond to them. Internal conflict. The in-betweener is judged by both inclinations, judged by them, not ruled by them. The in-betweener listens to the claims of both inclinations and judges between them. When a physical desire arises, the left side of your heart is aroused to pursue it. This is the voice of the inclination towards selfishness. Bring that passion into the right side of your heart, where your intellect responds with the voice of inclination towards selflessness. Most often the two inclinations are in conflict, so lift the matter to God, who will strengthen the goodness of the right. As our sages teach, without God's help, the evil inclination could not be overcome. The Yetzer HaTov and the Yetzer Hara, the inclination for selfless good and the inclination for selfish evil. The Alter Rebbe deliberately misreads the text to argue that the Benoni in-betweener judges between competing passions, rather than is judged by them. Since everyone has both good and evil inclinations, there is no sense in being judged by them, but only by how you handle them. The in-betweener lifts the competition to God. This is what is meant by the teaching, I set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life that you may live. If the word therefore is a command from God telling us which to choose, then there is in fact no choice at all. Choose life should not be read as a command, but rather as a consequence.